Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Monday morning. Let's do this. Okay, opening question for you. Does God fear? God's got a lot of emotions. We know that from the Bible, but does he really fear anything? Let's read our one-liner from the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Shout out to Pastor Derek for the inspiration for this study this morning. He preached a great sermon on this chapter, and he gave me a lot of thoughts that I'm sharing with you. So this is the Moses speaking to the Israelites right before the Egyptians overrun them on the banks of the Red Sea. So this is the moment right before the Red Sea parts, and they see the chariots coming. You know, it's impending doom. I mean, it's death, it's destruction. They know they're not going to be able to beat the Egyptians in combat. So here they are grumbling, why'd you bring us out in the desert to die? I mean, a lot of that's natural. Okay. So then in verse 15, the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to move on. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? They're sitting there grumbling and crying out, Moses, God, please save us. It makes it sound like God didn't know what was going on, that he was distracted. Well, see, the point is that God had no intention to perform all these miracles in Egypt to get his people out of captivity, for them to only die a couple miles down the road. And God has no intentions in abandoning you in life either. He wants to fight for you. He wants you to stand your ground. He wants you to be silent and let him work. One thought came to mind during the sermon yesterday, which really transformed how I look at opposition and how I look at people, that are trying to ruin my life, so to speak, or to inflict pain, or just anything to distract me from living the way of the Lord and my quality of life. And it was the whole point of the story, I believe. See, I believe God wanted the Israelites to say, oh, it's just the Egyptians, no big deal. So I think they wanted them to say, oh, God's done great things. It's just what are these chariots against my God? What are these armed soldiers against my God? They can't do anything because God doesn't fear. God doesn't worry. God doesn't have odds against him. So this is the challenge I have for you. Today, rather than look at, mountains being, or your problems being these grand mountains that you can't overcome, the army of the Egyptians about to tackle you, just realize that they're just noise and distraction. They're not actually going to do anything. Because that's what we have God. If we stand firm in the faith, we believe in the Lord. So this is what I kind of came out of the sermon with. I think the Israelites were supposed to say, oh, it's just the Egyptians. Let's keep going. So I want you to replace the word Egyptian or Egyptians or army with something that's bothering you today. Oh, it's just my boss. Let's keep going. It's just a difficult time in making the budget work. Let's move on. It's just an illness. Let's move on. Now these are real problems. Don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you to abandon your problems. I'm not asking you to act like they don't exist. Live in denial. What I'm saying is, our God is so magnificent, so superior, that to him it's not the Egyptian army. It's just a lot of noise. All right. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this message blessed you, and to all my friends out there, thank you for your support while I continue to do this. And God be with you on this week.